back to Shape of the City. I'm Clover Frederick, your host. For many children, grandparents are a key part of their lives, whether it's an occasional visit or on a regular basis. That being said, the importance of eating and activities between grandparents and their grandchildren is often underestimated. To learn some simple and fun ways to improve healthy living for both, I'll talk with Mary Johnson from the F Street Community Center and Marcia Wallen, wellness coach and registered dietitian for Williamsburg Hy-Vee. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Now let's start with Mary. Let's talk about the impact that grandparents have on their grandchildren when it comes to living more healthy lives.
Well, just being a role model is a great start. I think a lot of times grandparents think they need to be aware of what's going on with their their grandkids' lives and a part of their world, but I think grandchildren want to be a part of their grandparents' world. They want to hear stories, they want to go on walks, they want to hear about when they were kids and what they did and how they did it. And I think that can be a great start and a basis for an active relationship with your grandchildren.
Okay, what are some of the benefits to both the grandparent and the grandchild?
Grandparents, improving endurance so that they can chase around those little grandkids, and then as they get older, go to all their events. So improving endurance, flexibility. You would think that that's a given, but it's surprising how often it comes into play, being flexible. Balance is a great byproduct of a healthy lifestyle, and grandparents want to be able to participate in activities with their grandchildren without falling, without being concerned about becoming injured, and so those would be some great things for grandparents. For the grandchildren, I think their grandparents look cool. When they're participating in activities with them, I think that it improves the relationship with their grandparent.
Now, what advice do you have for a grandparent who plays a very regular role in the grandchild's life?
Well, I would say it would be important to be intentional. Plan activities that they will be interested in, and to account for different levels of activity. Some grandparents are incredibly active, and they should take their kids mountain biking, their grandkids mountain biking. They should take them on a jog. Some grandparents are in the position to introduce running as an activity to their grandchild. And so I think the main thing is to avoid that screen time, to avoid idle time, to spend quality, active time with your grandchildren. And one thing I've thought a lot about is it would be great for a grandparent to consider what it is they're interested in, they've been interested in their entire lives. If it's bird watching, taking their grandchildren bird watching with them and imparting some of their knowledge, in that area on their grandchildren. I talked a little bit about history and telling stories. A lot of people don't realize that there used to be an amusement park over in Wilderness Park. A lot of grandparents might remember when that was an amusement park, and grandchildren would love to hear about that. So there's the obvious, go to a park, fly a kite, kick a ball around, but there's also things like pickleball and playing pool and ping pong and foosball and things that our community centers all have at the ready.
Great. Now, what are some activities that are available through Parks and Recreation?
Well, I have a whole list for you.
I bet.
So, I mentioned playing pool. A lot of grandparents really know their stuff when it comes to playing pool. And, they can teach the grandkids different ways to play pool, ways to shoot. And then communication becomes a part of that also about other things. Golf at Ager, over at our Ager Junior Golf Course, they have special clubs for smaller children so that they can learn the game. And I wish they had special clubs for me. because they're bigger and you don't miss the ball. Tennis at Irving. We have a new tennis court that was just put in at Irving. There are smaller courts that are a part of that are for children, smaller children. And it also would mean that the grandparent's not chasing the ball, quite so far. And so that would be a fun activity. There's also tennis at Woods. There's pickleball now over at Upco Park. And they have the lines and everything. And, you can go online and look at the rules for pickleball, their special paddles. That would be a really fun activity. There is, there's always the Pioneers Park Nature Center. There's also, though, cross-country meets out at Pioneers Park right now, especially in the fall. If you check the schedules, you can go out there. They're free. They're very festive. And then, the grandparents can come back with the grandchildren, walk the course, or if they feel up to it, run the course. And then those kids have that experience of seeing a cross-country meet and walking the course with their grandparent. And what a great thing to be able to do that. There's Frisbee Golf at Tierra Park and also at Roper Park. That would be a really fun activity for grandparents. And then lastly, Hyde Observatory is open to the public on Saturdays. You can go online and look at their schedule. Right now is a great time of year to go out there. That would be active. There's fishing, there's any number of activities. And I would encourage anyone that if there's an activity they think they might be interested in that they're not sure is available, call the community center in your area and ask, do you have this activity? And if you don't, why not? And maybe we can get something going.
Those all sound like a lot of fun. Yeah. All right, thanks. Now, Marcia, let's chat with you a little bit about the nutrition side of things. Some of us are familiar that grandparents like to spoil their grandchildren with a little sweet treat. It sounds like an innocent gesture, but what should grandparents really be thinking about?
Lots of times we associate grandchildren and spoiling with sugar. And there are many, many other ways to spoil our grandchildren. Good eating habits are formed at a very young age, and we're all going to learn to like those cookies and sweet drinks, but we don't need to be introduced to them young. And grandparents can set a good example and be a good role model with healthy foods.
What is important for any caregiver to be aware of regarding healthy choices for children?
We all need to eat a variety of foods from a variety of food groups. Lots of times children get more sugary drinks and fruit juice than is in their best interest. And so offering water is a much better choice. And children do like it when there's good healthy foods available. They will frequently select those over the unnourishing foods.
Good. Now, what are some of the benefits to both grandparent and child when eating healthier?
Let me add something back. There's a place in all of our diets for cookies and candy and sweet drinks. They should be sometimes foods, not something on a regular basis. You shouldn't always bring home cookies from grandma's house. But the benefits are a win-win situation for everyone. Grandparents can eat healthier. They also don't need to have those sometimes foods around frequently. And then the children can learn about the food groups and healthy eating through eating healthy at Grandma and Grandpa's.
Great. Now, what are some simple ideas that a grandparent can use to engage their grandchild and get them excited about eating healthier foods?
Grandparents and grandchildren love to do things together, so anything they can do together related to food is a nice involvement. They can do grocery shopping together, maybe even do the list together first before they get to the grocery store. When children pick out foods, they're more likely to eat them and try them. So shopping together gives them the opportunity to make the selection in the grocery store. Then they can take the foods home and prepare them together. Because again, when children help with food preparation, they're more likely to eat it. So everybody wins. It gives children a variety of food choices. They may get to try some new foods that they've never even tried before.
Well, it looks like you brought something healthy and fun to eat, didn't you?
I brought a very healthy, easy snack that children can make for their grandparents or with their grandparents. A fairly new product on the market is the powdered peanut butter, and we do have it in both original flavor and chocolate and hazelnut, and it can be used in a variety of ways. It can be mixed with water and just spread on bread like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It can be used in smoothies or protein drinks or stirred into maybe oatmeal. What I've done today is mixed 1/4 cup with a carton of light yogurt, and we have some apples to dip in it. Can also use fresh vegetables.
Great, that looks delicious. Thank you both for all the tips and tricks you brought today. We really appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
Thank you
for the invitation.